bridge between you and everything. Is that true, Tanveer?
Very true, as rightly quoted by Rumi, that love is the bridge between ourselves and everything else. Yeah, that's what connects us with everything. And if you just have to go a little deeper into what love is, we've discussed that in our last podcast to understand the deeper understanding of love. But now we can go into what are the different phases of love? Like, just let's understand it from different aspects. Because some people look at it as a relationship or a partnership. Some people look at it more as a parent. Some people look at it as a friendship or even with pets and animals. And they have different definitions of love.
Yeah.
But if we just have to collate everything and classify or have to put it in certain phases, then yes, there are basically four major phases of love. Love is all, love is everything, right? It's just a different phase of that. So the first one is definitely self love.
All starts from within, right? Only when we discover what love is, the right meaning for us, are we able to define what love means for us around as such, right?
Yeah. So self love, like it's not about going to the spas, getting yourself pampered, or
Right.
doing that retail therapy. That's not self love.
That, yes, that is just a part of it.
That's actually not what is important to get into when you talk about self love,
Yeah.
is the intention behind it, right? So even if you're doing a retail therapy or you're going for spa, what is the intention? Is it coming out of self love or is it coming out of pressure or social media or peer pressure, or it is just because you were told to? Do you really understand what love is? That that spa and that therapy is all within. External, of course, you can
Yeah.
do. There is nothing wrong with it, but that's not self love. Self love is when you be your authentic self. Self love is when you appreciate and acknowledge yourself. Self love is when you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Self love is when you have those boundaries. All right. And self love is not seeking anything outside, knowing that you are whole, complete, and everything comes within. So, say, even if you're saying, okay, I'm doing this is making me happy, all right. But somewhere, like most of the time, the retail therapy does this, right? Okay, I'm doing this, it makes me happy. It's for that short moment of time. It's trying to fill up that emptiness, but which is not actually addressing the emptiness, right? So, after you do the retail therapy, the next day, you are again the
Back to
same.
the same, feeling
Yeah. So,
empty.
so
Yeah.
to differentiate that, because nowadays with the younger generations, it's okay, this is love and this is self love. I'm taking care
Yeah.
of myself. Are you really taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
It could be right from starting to taking care of what you put into your mouth, into your body, into
Yeah.
your mind. All right. It
True.
goes at a physical level, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
What are you feeding into your mind? What are you watching? What are you eating? How are you exercising? Are you taking care of yourself? Not because you have to or because there's a competition or you have to look a certain way. It is because you love your body, because you love yourself and you would like to take care of it. It's like how a mother nurtures a child.
Right.
Are you nurturing your mind and
Yes.
body that way without feeling guilty for having those boundaries, saying no, standing up for yourself, and all of that? Yeah. So even if you're doing, sometimes it's okay, I'm doing these acts of kindness. A lot of people sometimes get, okay, I've done this and I need something in return. No, are you doing it because you're expecting something? Or are you doing it because that's you? You appreciate and acknowledge that you are that kind and compassionate person or that generous person and you just would like to do it. And that makes you happy. But if that every act that you do, every word that you speak, every conversation that you have can be an act of self love if you're doing it more consciously and with much awareness. It's not about ego. Like many times, so you're doing this just to satisfy your ego. Okay, I'm standing up for yourself because of righteousness. Are you doing it? Like even with standing up for yourself, are you doing it in a righteousness way or are you doing it for your own sake because you believe in it and because you want to take care of yourself?
Right.
It's not because it's right or wrong, but it's because that's who you truly are. So it's all bringing up being your authentic self.
And I think oftentimes I hear these cliche people saying and coming up and saying that I always keep attracting broken people. I keep attracting people who are broken, who need help, or they're looking at validation. I think love is also a mirror. When we are complete by ourselves and we learn how to set boundaries, those people around us also vanish automatically. Because what happens is that we learn how to embrace ourselves as a complete being. Our existence is complete, right? We don't need to mend, repair, heal anybody else with an ulterior motive that ultimately they're going to be ours. And that love is an effort to get their attention.
And that's where we come to the second phase of love, that is the romantic love, which you rightly said. The romantic love is one of the closest relationship that you would have, the most intimate relationship that you would
Yeah.
have with someone. And that is the mirror. This relationship is a mirror of what is within you. It's like the frequency matching, the radio tuning into the right station. So whatever frequency you are in,
That the
with a
people at the
similar
same
frequency.
frequency. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is
So
beautifully explained in one of the podcasts that I saw, which says that why do people usually move on? Because they match at the same frequency. And then what happens is that one person finds their purpose and their frequency changes. However, that person that they're with is still at that same frequency. And then they cannot relate to each other. So when that happens, still somebody keeps growing together, like you water me and I water you with that same level. The plants don't really grow together, right? One grows faster and the other one is still there, right?
yeah.
And hence the things fall apart.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, especially with the romantic relationship, how you view the other person. So if you're viewing the other person as, many times it happens like a competition, or it's like more of an ego right, or any of that. Or instead, if you look at the other person as, this is a mirror to me, right? So what in this person that is triggering me, and I then go within and shift that within me for that improvement or for the change to happen in the relationship. Yeah. So once you look at the relationship as a mirror, then you are looking at yourself. And what also happens, Abby, is that when you look at the other person as you're looking at yourself, then of course you are being more kinder to that person. How you
Yes.
would like to be treated,
Yes.
you treat the other person the way you would like to be treated.
Absolutely.
So you love the other person the way you would like to be loved.
Right.
And that's how you can actually grow into that romantic love, or that relationship grows. But yes, of course, as you said, both have to have that same understanding. If one person is doing it and the other person is not doing it, then of course there will be a falling apart. But if both people in a romantic relationship, in a romantic love, look at each other as themselves, then how you would like to pamper yourself, you would pamper the other person. And you feel happy about pampering yourself, you
Yeah.
feel happy without wanting anything in return.
Absolutely.
It's the extension of self-love. Like how you
Right.
would love yourself now,
You
you
look
the
at
other
other
person.
person. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also the greatest form of an ego death, right?
Yes.
When two people come together, there are two ways that they grow, right? For example, within the self love, I have made a framework or a blueprint, right? The person whom I meet, they have a framework or a blueprint. And we're both struggling with our egos that this is the way the life is led. But there is no competition. No
Yeah.
particular blueprint or a framework is the right or the wrong here.
Very true.
The ego
But I
that
would,
comes
yeah.
when one
Yeah.
steps up and says that let's burn both the frameworks and let's make one framework which works for both of us, makes sense for both of us, which
Very true.
which feeds me and it also feeds you as such, right?
Yeah. And like we talked about the framework, okay, there is this love language
Yes.
that we talk about. There are main five love languages. There's a lot of research done. There's a book written on five love languages. So even if one you can do is you can break the framework and rework on the other things. Or what if you could merge the two? Or
Yes.
it's like a love language. Like
Yeah.
you're speaking Chinese, I'm speaking Russian. I'm telling you I love you. You telling me I love you. I don't understand you because you're speaking Russian. I don't understand Russian. I don't feel loved. All right. So it's about stepping up, like at least one person stepping up and the other person agreeing, because at the end of the day, you have to make it work. Romantic love is something where you need to make it work for you. You have
Right.
to put in the effort in the relationship, and you understand each other's language. Okay,
Yeah.
this person's language is acts of service and this person's appreciation. And you start speaking that with each other.
Yeah.
And that brings in the closeness because communication is key. Communication is the key, whether it
Absolutely.
is it's just through words, whether it's through physical tasks, whatever it is, but
Yeah.
an understanding between the two. And the communication is never complete without the understanding. The whole definition of communication is that I speak something to you, you receive it and understand it and respond. That completes
Yeah.
the communication cycle,
Cycle.
right?
Absolutely. It's also certain pillars that we build. So
Yeah.
we decide on certain pillars. I think that also goes for any phase of love, even for
Yeah.
us, right? So we
Yeah.
set certain non-negotiables for ourselves or with the other person, right?
Yeah.
Certain non-negotiables that are there for me and for that person.
Yeah.
Basic things are love, respect, trust, openness, empathy. These kinds of things
Adaptability.
are just not negotiable when it comes to love. Understanding, right? Not judging immediately on
Yeah.
circumstances, not
True.
reacting, but responding to certain situations.
Yeah.
That kind of helps in the growth for each of us.
Very true. And that's what in love, there is no ego. Like you already said, it's at least no
Yeah.
ego then, right? Because you're not, it's not about me this and me that. It's we. It's
Yes.
always we. So, yes, you may have your individuality, and I'm not saying you should dissolve your identity or any of that. All
Yeah.
right. Actually, what happens is you expand your identity from me to we. That's an expansion. But if you look at it as a sacrifice or having to give up your identity to become we, no, that me and the other me becomes we together, where you have your own individuality and still are together. So that's the romantic phase of love, as you say. And if you just go a little beyond that, because it's like human one on one,
Yes.
the other one is the
Universal.
universal love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yes, you have an amazing experience with animals and plants, and you're such a nature
Yeah.
loving person, but you may want to speak more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is real that apart from human beings, I've grown up with dogs, right? Since I was born, I have had dogs in my house, and I learned the silent language. From them, love is unconditional, right? Because they know they come to you and they know that you will give them food, right? They will go to my brother whom they know that they will play with. Same thing goes with the universe around us, right? We all are born with certain roles that we are supposed to play.
True.
And that is universal love. I have seen that even in my coaching life, that the students or the people who come to me for coaching are looking for a certain direction. And when you treat them with compassion and with universal perspective, how life is bigger than just I, and one single word that I say or one small kind action that I do in the entire universe
True.
is surreal, right? Even strangers, right? I can tell you so many stories that I have just sat in a place and been just sitting and either writing a journal or just sipping on a beer. And there have been people who have just sat beside me and have told me entire life story, happy, sad, whatever. The universe picks up that this is what you are meant. You are meant to spread love at the end of it. Even if you don't get it back in one form, it will manifest in 10 different forms that you can't even comprehend.
Very
So
true.
stop expecting that love back from that person.
You
Because
have
if
to
you,
be it.
yes, absolutely, you have to give it unconditionally. And knowing that the universe and there's a divine looking up, right, at every action and every facet of your love, and you will be, it's not that you would expect getting it back, but you will get it back in so many various forms. It's surreal.
Very true. And that's how we expand as we are expanding into the different phases. The moment you have that self love and then it's expanded to other people, right?
Yeah.
With other people being the mirror and you treating the other people the way you are. And it's not only limited to the people, it is limited to the planet Earth, to the universe, right?
Yes.
So whether it's the plants, whether it is the
Yeah.
animals, whether it's if you're doing conservation of the earth,
Yeah.
all of that, cleaning up the seas or the lakes and the waters, like how do you feel when you are at when you're say like people have like when they go into the forest they feel so real because that's the love that they
Yes.
feel, that's the
Absolutely.
energy that they feel, and that's itself is so healing. When people go to the ocean, get into the beach or near the water, that feeling of that is there, that something is there, you that is love, that's being you. And it's an exchange not only between people, it is exchange between us people and everything else in the universe, right?
Absolutely.
That's the energy in love. And from there, now we move on to the divine love, which is the ultimate, the creator's love, unconditionality of love. And it's just infinite. And yeah, it's just unlimited.
And the most beautiful part is that we don't have to say anything when it comes to the divine love. There is divine timing, which is in our favor. There's divine grace, which is in our favor. There's divine intervention when you're in trouble. So our only job is to believe, to have trust, and to have faith. And then just let it go. And
Yeah.
whatever is meant for you will never pass you by.
Yeah. And the most beautiful thing is that if you look at each one just has a mirror and it looks at itself, like the creator is giving that divine love is so unconditional, that irrespective of what we do, whether we obey, don't obey, blah, 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 we sinned, not sinned, whatever it is, we all have made mistakes in our lives, right? We all have all of that. But this is so unconditional, so forgiving, and still giving, right? And
Absolutely.
that's the energy. And the most the beauty of it is that energy is within us. Like we are a part of the divine. Like
Yes.
when you say that, you know how it, like in the physical, in the human form, we say that when the mother gives or the parent, both the mother gives birth to the child, there is a part of the mother in the child, right? And even the
Yes.
father,
Yeah.
it's in the child. So when the creator has created us, there is a part of the
Part of the
creator which
creator.
is within us. All
Absolutely.
right. And that's where the Rumi's beautiful quote is that love is everything. We are just small pieces of it.
Pieces of it. Absolutely. This was a lovely, lovely conversation about the different phases of love, Tandeep. Lovely insights, beautiful discussion, very deep and very light at the same time. Thank you. And I hope this podcast, which is light and at the same time insightful, reaches the right people who need to hear this. We really play a part here where we can only spread the message across. The rest is up to the universe to conspire.
Very true. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Abby. It was amazing to have this chat with you. And people, please subscribe and follow us on Insta, Facebook, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And
Spread the love. Bye bye.